I was hired and 2 task forces were formed, and suddenly the administrators and their allies who basically just want to be left alone pressed the nuclear button and started a firestorm. And I think it really is a little bit like calling fire in a crowded theater and needlessly causing a panic. I mean, I think alumni and major donors were needlessly panicked that somehow something terrible was happening to the university, when I think it's quite the contrary. No, I mean, I have a track record of almost 20 years doing public policy reform. I've run the higher ed system in the state of Colorado. I have my own thoughts about where higher ed needs to go. But there are clearly a lot of people in Texas who think it's time for students, taxpayers, and employers to come first in higher education. It's not just me, it's not just the governor, it's not just these regents. There are a lot of people who believe that the universities have been unaccountable for too long, that maybe they can be more effective and efficient. And so, I'm one of many voices who are eager to help the universities go to the next level. Yeah, I think look, all's fair in love and war. And we tried, I think the regents I was working for tried to frankly make love. We established 2 task forces, we put university administrators on them, and we wanted to go out and listen and learn. The other side wanted to make war. And so what they did is found what they thought was something they could push back hard on, which is we're against research. That's not true. The paper I wrote was just one piece of a larger debate about how do you value and measure research that happens in universities. There's lots of ways to value measure it, and that paper looked at one way, specifically patents and royalty income. I think the research issue was thrown up as a red herring because what the university really didn't want was us asking for data about faculty productivity, about how much faculty are paid, how much they work, their evaluations of students and how students rate that work, how much external research funding they bring in. And so they tried to divert attention away from the fact that we were asking for data that regents need to do their job and uphold their fiduciary responsibility. Again, it depends how you measure it, right? So in the TPPF paper, the question was, is the return in terms of patent, royalty, and licensing income very high? The answer is no. No one's disputed that, right? Fundamentally, the answer is no. Now, that doesn't mean in other measures, right, we don't need academic research. I think research is really important, right? If you're going to be at the top of your field as a teacher, you need to stay relevant to what's going on in your field. Just as if you're going to be a great doctor, you better stay up with what's going on in medicine. And so for great scholars, do great research. And what's interesting is if you look at the data, those who bring in the most external research funding tend to also have very high teaching loads. And you might, well, why is that? I thought they're busy doing research. Well, no, it's because if you're an academic researcher, you want graduate assistants and students to help you do that research, and you want to attract the best students to help you. Well, the way you find students is to teach, right? And so the great researchers also do a lot of great teaching because there is a symbiosis between the two. All I know about the Oversight Committee is what I've read in the press. And what I've read in the press is mostly from Dr. Zaffarini, and it appears that she somehow believes regents who are doing their fiduciary duty need oversight. And to me, that's a clear sign that she's been co-opted by the university, that she's more interested in defending administrators. She nominated the chancellor for his job. His family has given lots of campaign contributions to her over the years. She seems to think, if you read her quotes, legislators should just bleed orange and purple for their universities rather than actually govern. But I don't know what the Oversight Committee is going to do. My hunch is, though, that her colleagues at some point are going to say, we want a committee chair and an Oversight Committee that's actually truly independent of the administration, that's truly going to do the job a legislature should do, who appropriates money and ensures that not just regents, but everyone's doing their job.